Did you know the Spearin Doctrine? Many complaints about the quality of the result of construction work are, in fact, attributable to poor design. In general, contractors and subcontractors who build according to the design furnished by the owner are not liable for the results. This concept is known as the Spearin Doctrine, named after George B. Spearin, a New York-based maritime contractor. During the run-up to World War I and led by then Secretary of the Navy Teddy Roosevelt, the United States Navy was on a building boom to find more efficient ways of maintaining the fleet using dry docks which were on short supply, rather than tipping the hulls to work on one half of the hull at a time. Spearin was contracted to construct a new dry dock in the Brooklyn Navy Yard. According to plans and specifications the government prepared, the work required Spearin to relocate a 6-foot diameter brick sewer main that had not been completely shown on the plans, omitting an internal dam. About a year into the project, around 1905, a heavy rain and high tide caused the sewer to overflow before the dry dock was completed, causing the excavation of the dry dock to be flooded. An investigation revealed that the existing internal dam had diverted the water into a portion of the sewer that overflowed into the dry dock. The internal dam was an existing feature but was not shown on the plans and specifications the government gave to Spearin. Spearin and the government each claimed the other was responsible for the flood. Eventually, the government canceled Spearin's contract and completed the work with a replacement contractor. At the time the contract was canceled, Spearin was not fully paid. 13 years later, on December 9, 1918, the Supreme Court, led by Justice Louis Brandeis, ruled that Spearin had no responsibility for the flood because the internal dam was not shown on the plans and specifications that the government gave to Spearin, which specifically dictated how and where the sewer should be relocated. Thus, the government warranted the adequacy of the specifications, and the Spearin Doctrine was born. Brandeis wrote for the majority, "Where one agrees to do for a fixed sum a thing possible to be performed, he will not be excused or become entitled to additional compensation because unforeseen difficulties are encountered. Thus, one who undertakes to erect a structure upon a particular site assumes ordinarily the risk of subsidence of the soil. But if the contractor is bound to build according to plans and specifications prepared by the owner, the contractor will not be responsible for the consequences of defects in the plans and specifications. This responsibility of the owner is not overcome by the usual clauses requiring builders to visit the site, to check the plans, and to inform themselves of the requirements of the work. The contractor should be relieved if he was misled by erroneous statements in the specifications." Powerful stuff. So what is to be learned here? Good control over construction drawings and specifications, change orders, RFI answers, and submittals can minimize disputes over what standards apply to the work. Now think about this. What happens to the Spearin Doctrine in a design-build-delivery method? How important are the specifications in design-build? One might argue it no longer applies, but be very careful. You never want to wait 13 years for a decision.